I have a question for you. What does this logo, and this logo all have in common? No, they didn't sell their soul, which I'm sure quite a few of you will still say. They all know about branding. Let's talk about how to get better as an artist and steps you can take.
So without further ado, hit that smash button and like it. Subscribe, it's awesome.
What's going on, everybody? Garrett from Track Sounds here to give you some more game on how to brand yourself better as an artist. There's tons of artists out there that do it very, very well, and there's tons that do it a little more questionably. I do have a question of the day. Before we even start, who do you think has the best logo in the game? Let me know in the comments who you think. I'm gonna put mine in the comments who I believe, but I'm curious as to who you think kind of sticks out in your head when you think of logos and artists when I say it off top. So I have 5 different steps that I think are very, very important in the branding aspect. I'll break down each one of them, starting first with aesthetics. Aesthetics, that's a tough word to say without trying to have a lisp on it. Aesthetics. Anyways, when I think of aesthetics, oh man, that's gonna be tough.
When I think of aesthetics,
I'm talking about logo, color scheme, different things like that. Logo being pretty obvious is one of the big things, but this also goes into the branding all around with maybe merchandise or anything like that. How you can really get your aesthetics correct is first get a very high quality logo, one that is very crisp and clean, but gets to the point of what you may do and also draws people in. If you don't have somebody that does logos that you know, there's plenty of professional people out there. There's also Fiverr.com, which I love for a lot of different reasons, that will make you a great logo. Don't be afraid to try a few different things and get, different recommendations from people that you trust. The next thing is using a certain color scheme for a lot of your posts or maybe your text in your post, anything like that. Anytime you get to choose something with colors, try to go to a similar theme that you can think of. Think of McDonald's when you think of red and yellow. When you think of Drake, you think of black and gold probably because of the color scheme he put together. The next thing, making sure all of your social medias are very, very similar all across the board. You want the same type of artwork, same type of bio, same type of name. And anytime you're about to release a new song or a project, try to fix the banners on YouTube, SoundCloud, different Audio Mac, different places like that. Another part of it is cover art. You may have different variations as you're going of different things, but I personally like to have a similar feel if you can to it. If there's an old vintage filter that you use on a lot of your cover art, try to stick with that. If there's a certain style of text you like to use on it, try to, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same picture each time, but try to find ways that you can make somebody see it and instantly get a feeling that they already know it's from you and, you've kind of just built up that with them. The next step I have is make everything easy to remember. I can't stress this enough. People make crazy names that are hard for people to remember when they hear it or spell it when they're looking for it on Spotify.
Starts with an S. So swummy, slippy, slappy, slimming, summon, simmon, Swanson?
Maybe it's on the briefcase. Look on the...
Oh yeah, it's right here. Samsonite. I was way off.
You don't want it to be very, very basic because then it's a lot are similar to somebody else's because then it's harder to search for you. But make sure that your name is pretty easy to spell. If you said it to somebody and they heard it, they would probably be able to find it. There may be a little uniqueness to it, one letter different, or one small, one lowercase, one uppercase here and there, something like that. But try to make it as easy as possible. This also goes into my next point, which I mentioned briefly on the first one. Make sure that every single name on social media is the same. If you can't get the same, make it as close as possible. You don't want somebody to be on your Twitter randomly finding you, and then they go to try to find you on your Instagram and you have a completely different name and they don't know how to find you on there. Try to make it as easy as possible for people on all the platforms that you can. Also, don't make your song title too similar to other songs that are out there. If you can make it just a little different, it will make it people easier to find it. If you name your song Don't Care, which there's probably a ton of them out there, no offense if you've named your song Don't Care, I'm very sorry, but it's going to be harder to find you if there's just a ton of them that are really big up there. I don't even know if there is one. I just kind of came up off the top of my head. But if there is, you're probably going to be at the bottom, especially if you don't have a lot of plays, and it might be harder for someone to find you. You just want to make it easy as possible in everything you do. If somebody's having to click your link, you try to make them go through as little steps as possible. The third thing is consistency. This goes back to a couple things I was mentioning in the aesthetics part. You want consistent artwork. You want a consistent color scheme as you're posting things, posting different merch, different things like that. You can think about Pink Sweats. Everything he does is pink now, artwork, all that. And you maybe not have to go to that extreme, but that is just an example of what branding can do for you. Other things when I mention consistency are the use of maybe a couple hashtags that you use on every single post, or vast majority of them. Also maybe 1 or 2 emojis that you use all the time. Maybe to pick one of them that represents the project you're doing or something that represents your name, and try to get other people to use that. It gives them a sense of family. When I talk consistency, this has to translate to all platforms as well. You want to have a similar brand on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all these things like that. And that goes a lot to making sure your color schemes and the color you choose on the text you pick for different platforms really goes in line. The 4th step is professionalism. I mean having a professional electronic press kit, which I'll call an EPK from here on out. This is huge. This is basically like a small social media style interactive bio, basically, that anytime you're maybe talking to some blogs or somebody new, a new manager, anything like that, you'll have an EPK. And you can also have this on your website for any of your fans or fans, friends, future clients, anything like that to see. The more professional it is, the better it'll look on your part. Make sure all of your bios are very professional on your different sites, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all those things like that. Make them very clean, concise. Make them, if you want to use one of your hashtags or your emojis in there, definitely do that. But get to the point with it and don't have some long drawn out one. The email in your bio, or make sure your contact links and all that are set up as well. If you have management, put their email in it. If you don't, if you want to make a fake management email and put it in there, I've done it before. I'm not gonna lie, when I was a lot younger, I definitely had a fake manager and I used to blame him for everything if I couldn't get a good negotiation on some things. So that's a little weird pro hack for you. I don't know if anybody else has done that, but if you've ever made a fake manager email, let me know in the comments. We can definitely joke about that together. Also, when we talk about professionalism, make sure you have great press releases for each time you release a project or a big song. There's tons of writers or journalists and publicists, anything out there that write great press releases. They're not that expensive. They don't have to be anything extensive, just something clean, concise, that gets across the message, you as an artist, and also delivers the content to the person in a quickly and timely fashion. Make sure your links are really clean. I love buying a domain for a project. That way it's, if you have a song called The Damage, or you have a project called The Damage, you can do, the damageep.com, go buy that. Anytime anybody wants to visit it, you can tell them that, forward it to your landing page, and it's just just another way to look even more professional and brand the product you're trying to do. And then my 5th tip is have a few signature things that you do that you can make people kind of feel part of your journey, part of your family per se. If you need to come up with a name for your gang or team or whatever around, this makes people feel really a part of it. So if you have some fans, and even Supreme Patty had the shrimp gang thing or whatever it was, and people they latch onto that. Even I hear people still mention that all the time randomly. So try to think if there's some way you can include other people to feel a part of your family. Think of some, maybe some catchphrases that are kind of yours that you always start videos with. There's different things you can think of here that can be your signature thing. Your clothes, your hair, inside jokes with your fans, different types of food that you always eat. There's different things that you can kind of just brand yourself that make you signature and unique that people can kind of latch on. So don't be afraid to try a few different things, see what may work, and experiment. If you really want to be an artist, you have to have that inner feeling in you that you're going to be successful with it. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a very, very tough road. And I've seen it before. The people that already kind of envision themselves being big, they usually get it much further than the people that really don't think they even have a shot. So why not believe you have a shot and go for it? This is your goal. I'm here to help you. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that you want to know for the next video. Until then, I'm out. Peace.
Smash it! Smash the like button, please. Like this channel. Garrett is awesome, and he loves Big Ed.